Hi there, so this is where we left off, and what we're going to do is use our boolean operation on this. So boolean, and I'm going to do an insert. So pro boolean. I'm going to do an insert, start picking, just pick that. And now these are just one big happy family. Convert to edible poly, like so. Okay, so they're still obviously a separate element, but they're going to work better for what we want. Right, let's exit isolation mode. And what I'm going to do here is obviously affect pivot. So let's see, I want to go over here, affect pivot only, send it to this object here. Wait, affect pivot only. What am I doing? I did the wrong one. Silly me. Right, affect pivot only, align to this object here. Okay, now obviously it's aligned all the way down here, but that's okay. I could have done that a different way had I so chosen. Now I'm going to copy it. Just need to make sure I'm getting it the right number of copies. So I think I could do with 2 this way. And then another, perhaps 3 this way. And in fact, rather than use an angle snap in this case, I'll turn angle snap off to do this with. There we go. And that'll come around like so. Now, what I want to do is obviously boolean these pieces in. Now, as you can see, they're not actually flush with the model in the slightest, which is sodding typical. Just have a look at this. Oh, go figure. It's because the actual axis on this was slightly off. So I think what I'm going to have to do instead is sod it, I'll just adjust them. I don't care anymore. Manually adjust them to where they need to be. So affect pivot only, send it to object. At least I'll get them more or less where I want them anyway. And go back into the normal moving around mode. Okay, just start moving them down until they're just about where I need them. Remember, I've got angle snap turned off, which will make things a teeny bit easier for me. Okay. Bring this one back a little bit. Bring this one back a little bit. Oh, I've got a bit of a cough coming. Sorry about this. Weather is absolutely crap at the moment up here. This one's embedded itself in more or less as I wanted it to anyway. I doubt this one has. Let's have a look. This one has. This one I can probably just sink into place in just a moment. Once I've dragged it back into the right position. Thing is, the more complicated your model starts to get, the more difficult it is sometimes to get these right. We could have used an array, but frankly it would have done the same sort of crap anyway. Okay, so we've got these parts here. So now what we can do is just obviously attach them all together. Like so. And then we can attach them into this part here. Which again is another boolean operation. Now, is this object a solid piece? No. So I should probably really make it a solid piece for this. Or at least make part of it a solid piece. Booleans are so much easier to do on solids. They really are. Okay, let's just make sure it's a polygon. I'm going to take out this bit here for the minute. Cap this end, which makes this end completely solid. Now I'm going to detach this end. Just as an object. So there you go. So now it's separate to this. And that means that when I boolean, now it'll only be acting on this solid object here. Okay, so now if I start picking, as you see, there's various different kind of ways we can do these. We can do merging and stuff. Have I actually got the right one selected? Yeah, I have. So the one we're going to be using is union. So if I just click on union, click start picking, there we go. Just convert it back to an edible polygon again. And that's really all we had to do there, and it's done. Now, I obviously want to attach these parts back together again. And just bridge. There you go. That's all there is really to put that part and that part back together again. Now over here, I'm just going to start adjusting the position of this a little bit. I think I'm getting the caffeine shakes. Probably going to need a coffee again soon. Let's see, I'm going to put that to there. Just so I can have this part here come out. Kind of envelope this bit. Just trying to work out the best way of doing this bit. I think it's going to be just taking this part here, do a hinge from edge. Okay, and that'll give us this part here. Now what I'm going to do is delete this polygon here and go straight into bordered mode. Actually, before I do, I'm going to bring this back a little bit first. Why have I got two edges back here? That seems very silly. But I have. Weirdness. Off you go. And you. And you. I don't know why I've got two edges there, but there we go. Oh, I can see it. Okay, just bridge there. Yeah. Let's undo the part that we made. Just looking at this again. I'm going to come out from here. Do a quick inset. Hinge from edge. Bring this part in. Bring this part out. Now then over here. Take that part away. I did tell you things were going to get more complicated, but this is still in the realms of a beginner's tutorial, for heaven's sakes. Come on. You can do this. You can do this with your eyes closed. Well, you can't do it with your eyes closed because it look awful. What I'm saying to you is, though, all we've been doing is slowly adding and adding and adding to this tutorial as we went along, yeah? And so there's still no reason why, even if you've only just watched the 3D Studio Max Basics video that I did, you can't do this. It's not complicated, just tweaking. Now, if you're a tutorial collector, obviously, you know, just out for tutorials and you're watching this part first, you're not going to pick stuff up. You need to take your time with these sorts of things. You really do. Okay, let's go here. Bring that to about there. Start straightening these a little bit. Now, I need to get this actually put into the right place before I start dicking around with it too much. So, it just sinks in there, literally, into the side. And that's about as complicated as this kind of interaction really should get. There. Like that. Now my view is probably there's some sort of a kind of area in this that goes in a bit or something, but I have no idea where. Intersect into there. There we go. Right, now we can attach the two together again. Okay, and that builds our more complicated looking barrel, obviously. And now we're welcome to start coming down here and messing with this part. Now, before I attach the two together, it's going to be easier. I'll just do Control Z there, by the way. Easier just kind of coming down and manually blending this part in without having to select all the parts of the back first. Okay, and now I'm going to chamfer here just to increase the polygons and make this a little bit smoother on this edge. Oh, nuts, hang on. Let's redo that. There we go. Now I'm going to select this edge here, do a quick loop, and then chamfer it. And that smooths this out quite a lot, as you can see. Now, down here, attach. What I'm going to do is select this part here and do a quick inset. And I'm going to take my two edges over here. Just get them more or less in the right position. Okay, and now I can hinge edge. Once I do a small extrude, or hinge edge anyway if I want to. Let's see. So there, and hinge edge. And this just starts to make our model kind of blend together the way we want it to, which is kind of what it's about, really. So again, going into target world by vertex, which is what we did earlier. Doesn't always work the way we want it to. If it doesn't, then what we could do is just throw two borders in and bridge them. We could probably do with getting rid of this one though. least moving it a little bit. So let's just loop that. We can adjust it a bit. Just to stop it intersecting as much. Same here. Loop that first, actually. There we go, and that kind of goes onto there. Okay. You can see how these are starting to merge into each other and being held in place by various pieces and parts. This is where the loader's going to be, which I'll probably record shortly. And over here, where these nice flat bits are. And these bits were flattened unintentionally when I did the other side, and it's turned out to be quite a blessing actually. What I'm going to do is grab this piece here, do a quick inset, go to the scale tool on the local axis, bring that across to about there. Now I'm going to move it on the local axis, just to about there. And again, I'm going to grab a bevel. And bring this part out to about here. Now what I'm going to do is split it. So I'm going to grab here, do a quick loop, no, ring, yes. Now I don't want it to go all the way down actually. I'm just going to grab these top two, I think. And maybe these ones at the bottom too. Hit F3, just want to get in and see what I'm selecting. There we are. Then I can do a quick connect. Like so. And then I'm going to chamfer it. Like that. There's a reason for all this madness, by the way. Select my polygon, delete there and there and there. So, I don't even know what colour this is in the background, by the way, but if it's really offensive and awful, I apologise. Bridge. And another one there, bridge. And bridge, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is select here and here. A couple of different ways I can do this, but I'm going to do it this way instead, which is a manual chamfer rather than a hinge edge method. And I bring it down here so it's about a third for each. Then I'm going to do it again. And if I want to, I can do it one more time, just to completely smooth it, like so. Okay, and that creates this, which obviously is quite useful. Now, what I need to do is create a box. So I'm going to make a box using auto grid, and just have that to come out from about here into there and up. It starts to intersect, obviously. Okay, now I'm going to change the height on this until it's the height that I want and the width that I want and so on. Just pulling it randomly a bit. There, just so it's literally sitting on there. Convert to editable polygon. Select these polys and Control I and then delete the one that we can't see. Makes it a bit easier when it comes to bonding pieces onto other pieces in the background or whatever. Actually, no, I'll just leave it on. What the hell? Right, and edge. Because we're just building poly on poly at the moment anyway. I'm sure you can tidy it up yourself later on if you feel so inclined. There we go. Let's look at that and move it in local. Not you, this naughty thing. The S-Max sometimes throws a bit of a dicky fit when you're trying to do things if it doesn't quite get why you're doing it. Okay, and as with the other piece I'm about to do, what I'm going to do is select here and here, Control Select by Edge, just do a minor chamfer just to prettify it a little bit. Just there. And then I'll do the same here. And Control Select by Edge. And again, just another minor chamfer. Again, this is what I talked about at the very beginning though. Okay, and what I'll do is right in the middle here, if I just make a cylinder, and then sink it through. There we are. That's our pin. Then grab both ends. And I can just bevel it, like so. Okay, and of course if you want to tidy it up, you can. It's not difficult. We could just literally throw this into like a boolean operation or anything else we wanted really. So for example, you know, compound objects, pro boolean. I think we've still got union selected here, so we could start picking that and so on, and just add it all together that way. Anyway, I forgot this is part of this massive model here, so because it's slightly hollow we're going to have errors. I'll not bother doing that, but I'll just attach them instead. There we go. Makes things a bit easier for us. Now if I go down here, we should see this polygon. There it is. Which I'll just push through here. It's kind of important to us that we actually get a fairly good looking shape at this end. So I'm just going to go straight through here, do a connect, then just rid myself of these polygons here. And I can get rid of these by element. And what I'm going to do is just grab here, just make sure that, back in perspective, view, naughty thing. Make sure I'm doing this on my view, not on my local, just to scale them in. And again, view, not local. Move them down here till they're about ready to intersect. Then I'm going to hold shift and intersect them. And while they're intersecting, I'm just going to, did it again, I can't believe it, God almighty. I'm going to scale them up. Okay, and that way we get this kind of rim edge here as it connects in. Alright, starting to get there. Next part I am going to do will be more detail and the kind of feed thing that goes in here. Till then, see you in the next bit.